Hey there. So here is Gemini. Let's type in a question and see what it does. I'm supplying a document here, and let's see if what kind of insights is it going to provide. I would like you to focus on this section where it's thinking a bit hard on trying to perform the analysis. Okay, all right. So while this is doing its job, I think it's done. Okay, cool. So let me just bring you to this. Okay, all right. Let's create a new workflow and let's ask the same question. So here today I want to present to you something I've built as part of my learning exercise. So this is called, I've named it RobustNX. Not much reason for that, but we'll get into that a little later. But I wanna, while this is running, let's see what Gemini actually did. So it's got the output and it's pretty much what you expect. It's provided a sales highlight and strategic directions, everything. But did we get to see how it was done? Not really. Okay, cool. So let's just bring in a little bit of transparency. And what you see here is clearly, a multi-agentic workflow, right? So this is a fully autonomous multi-agentic workflow where I don't really have to attach any modules. You've seen for yourself that everything has come in on its own. Let's see how the results look like. Okay, beautiful. And did I supply the file here? Not really. So because I already have it loaded, preloaded into my RAG system, it's already present, and I'm asking it to provide the insights. And it's pretty spot on, I think. And it is given a proper report, as you can see. So let me just show you how it was done. You see that there are a lot of agents. There is a planner agent, there is a coder agent, retriever agent, thinker agent, distiller, and finally the formatter agent. So with that, let me introduce you to my crew. Let's start with this. This is basically, as the name suggests, it's a planner agent. So all it has to do is plan out how each of the agents would be required for us to be able to get the output that is needed. So in this case, it is so this is the one which has really built the entire workflow. So in this case, it has built a sequential workflow, and the way it has done it is using something called NetworkX, and hence it's RobustNX. But it is it is prompted to get all of these agents because it already knows that we do have a supply of these agents which are capable of specific tasks. And on the right hand side, you can really see the details of this node. So you can see that the output has been a plan graph where it has really defined what each of the agents has to do. So it does the plan in the initial mode, and when you type in the question, it does all the planning, but it is also capable of doing a replanning mid session, because in case it is spinning up 2 to 3 thinker agents, and if it identifies that one of the thinker agent is not necessary because it has found the answer, it's not going to go through that route anymore. So it's going to do a replanning and it's going to distill the information. Now with that, let's see what the coder agent has done for us. So this is the coder agent, and it has spin up multiple versions of the code. So there is code 1A and there is more to it. So it is literally writing the code for us. So there are instances where I've also written the code using just this. We could also look at one of such examples, but as the name suggests, is pretty self-explanatory. It writes the code and it ensures that it runs. So that's all it does. And then comes retriever agent. So in this case, this becomes one of the key agents for us because it sources all the info that you need for a given question or for a given task. So it retrieves the information from local documents It supports PDFs, texts, images too. Yeah, so it does support that, and it does a captioning, so it retrieves all that information not only from the local docs, but also it goes through various links and websites to be able to retrieve the information that you need. And there is a bit of extension to the retriever agent called browser agent, which is literally capable of opening each of the websites that it could not otherwise have gone through using DuckDuckGo or Yahoo search or any of the traditional searches. So it literally opens the Chrome windows and goes through each of the websites and retrieves the information. So once all the information is retrieved, it comes, in this case, it comes through to the thinker agent, but that's not how it always needs to happen. So it could directly go to the distiller agent as required. So in this case, thinker agent also becomes very critical because it takes away the cognitive load from other agents, and all it does is just thinking. So it does a beautiful job when it has to extract insights for you. And then it goes to distiller agent. Again, this is also pretty self-explanatory. All it has to do is try and understand what's the information that it's got and what does it need to do, if it needs to synthesize any further information or not. And finally, we have the format agent. So this is literally the final touch point of the workflow, and this is what the customer is going to see, or the user is going to see. It provides a beautifully formatted, in this case, an MD formatted output. So you can use this. Currently, it doesn't support a download, but that could have been a nice addition. So for me to take a note. So this is pretty much the crew that we have, and there are more agents such as QA agent and other agents, which maybe we'll touch upon later in the next video. So this is what's happening on the outside, but there is a lot that's happening on the back end as well. So as I was saying, I've done a little bit of yeah, I think a bit of coding as well. So as you can see, I needed to get the sum of squares of the word India. So it has written the Python code. So yeah, all LLMs are capable of doing that. But in the backend, you need a router. So in this case, it's called Planner agent to be able to decide that coder agent can do the job and not retriever agent or clarification agent or any of that. Oh yeah. So by the way, there is also a clarification agent. So in case it is deficit of information, it's going to go to the clarification agent, and it asks me, because I'm the user here, to provide the information that's needed. So while this is how it works, really, there is also an option to drag and drop the files here, and it does a fantastic job at doing the RAG in the backend. So it always does the RAG in the backend. So while the system is idle, it just keeps doing its job. So it understands that there are new docs that are added, new conversations that we just had right now, and it also supports so it basically does, the RAG basically does chunking, indexing, and stores everything in the vector store, everything automatically. Not only that, it supports BM25. So if you want to ever search your history, or if you want to search in the document, you can quickly do that. The keyword search support is not generally available in RAG systems, but you can do it because it's already been indexed on BM25 as well. So here one of the features is you can search the history, and you can, oh yeah, so for the sake of it, I'll just run something else. Maybe let's do how is the silver price going to be in the next 3 months? Yeah, so let's try running this. And as you can see, again, it spins up a planner agent. This is a bit of a bug. So there is only one planner agent. Oh yeah. So, and here you can see that there are two retriever agents. Beautiful. And then there is one thinker agent, which gets the information from this retriever agent. But in any case, if I really don't want to proceed with this, or if this is taking longer than I expected it to run, probably I could just kill it. So I could select the workflow, and in the backend, it's done. Uh, it's not running anymore. So there is, although it shows that it is running, but it's not. A bit of a bug again for me to fix. So there is a way to stop, and there is a way to also run it from the node. The reason why I've included this is because I want to also, in the future, at some point, I want to provide input to the coder agent or any agent for that matter, but a manual input, which may not be coming from Planner because I want to try some other um, options of fallback and etc. So I may do that, and I could run clearly only from that node, which is a pretty good thing. And I could also want to have an option to actually manually edit the workflow as well if I have to. If I feel that it could benefit from 2 to 3 other sources which it did not identify correctly in the planner, so I could add a couple of retriever nodes, and all of that is going to go to the synthesizer, distiller, or thinker. So that way, it is going to benefit. It will still give us the control that we need, and the reliability is going to go up quite significantly. Um, there is also an aspect of telemetry, not live yet, but it's going to come in soon. There is, so while we've seen that this is what is happening on the front end, in the back end, there is a persistent memory layer and session memory layer. So this is going to have a pretty advanced memory management system. So this is also going to index everything that we are speaking. So it's going to create a user profile to accurately provide user preferences. So in my case, it's going to understand where I live. So it's going to make the information more relevant to me. So if I ask Koda Skylax price for 2026, it's going to understand that it may be from on-road price of Bangalore. So it's going to search that rather than just giving me random results. So that's good, and it's going to do a lot more than that. It's going to create a beautiful user profile, which is happening in the backend already. So all the conversations that I had so far, only 39, not so great, but could be improved as I improve this further. So that's where we stand currently. And as I said, additions to this could be conversation level selective RAG. So basically, if I just select a few documents and I could have a chat with it, that's the feature that I'm aiming for a little later. And I would also like to have, as I said, manual override to tweak the workflow. And one thing which could be super interesting right now, there are 4 to 5 models which are running in the backend. When I say models, different types of models, because each one of these is going to be an API call, either local LLMs or the ones which are catered by Gemini or OpenAI and so on. But some of these are really good at, for example, Planner Agent has to have a really good LLM to be able to do its job, whereas probably a coder agent could be outsourced to a local LLM, which is really good in its job. So we could do that, and so that there is also an element of cost optimization. But I don't want to sit and read through the history and carefully analyze them, right? So I want to build in an intelligent agent again there to be able to take a call on which model to even use, or a bit of fallback option in case the local doesn't work. It has to quickly switch to an online API call to make sure that the things really run smoothly. But all of this is going to be based on the telemetry and observability. So an agent is going to sit and literally do that job. In the next one, I'm also going to show a new addition, which is going to be the scheduler. So it's going to be added, and that's going to do the job of watching. This is pretty much about what I've built. By the way, everything has been built from scratch except the UI. UI was taken inspiration from a lot of existing ones, but also with a bit of help from anti-gravity, this UI has been built. But the underlying architecture has been built um, from scratch. So there is more coming in the underlying architecture. Um, so yeah, who is this for? Maybe someone who is particularly really wanting to run the agents or really build agents. In the future, if you can add the support of addition of agents, spinning up agents on the go. Now skills are becoming pretty popular, so I think that may be a good addition here. So anybody who has a decent level of knowledge in this and they can just drag and drop the skills and you're gonna have that agency. That could be pretty interesting. So yeah, this is built for people who really wants to understand the inner workings of how everything is working and have the control over each and every single thing that we are doing here. So yeah, in case I still may have undersold it, but there is a lot going on in the backend. I don't think I'll be able to show the backend at this point because it is already lengthy video. But yeah, if this interests you, you can check out my GitHub repo that's gonna have the backend and the front end. Plus, if you want to do a bit further brainstorming on how to improve this or leverage the underlying architecture, feel free to reach out to me either for brainstorming or ideation. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope you found this interesting and let me know if you're gonna build anything awesome. Thank you. Bye bye.